Continuing right along, the energy-only children of Olam are simple. They don't have calendars. They don't have time. They don't have technology. They don't have written language. They don't have art. They don't have technology. That's how Olam wants them. Shaddai, Ahim, Elyon, the higher gods, their children, the energy ethereal children, have written language, history, art, and technology. And government, instead of just going out and I'm just going to go out and compete against everybody else for resources, which we'll get to that. Cultural appropriation is wrong because Olam doesn't like these other gods showing up and taking Olam's stuff. Olam, her attitude is, this is all mine. Nope, it's not. There are higher gods, and they're like, what you created is defective. Everything you've created is defective. Everything here is defective, and you're in disobedience. Olam does not like the Shaddai reality. Okay, that's the next one. Okay, so cultural appropriation is wrong. The Olam reality views the Shaddai Elyon Ahim reality as colonizers. They are. They are colonizers. They are. And then don't judge me. Don't judge me. Olam doesn't judge. Shaddai is the one who judges. Ever heard the phrase judge, jury, and executioner in the same individual? That's I can't say it's the Olam reality, but anyway. The way that our early government was established with the three different branches of government is copied after the gods. The spirit reality is the lawgiver. The Shaddai, the father reality, is the judge. And the son, the Ahim reality, is the executive branch that carries out the laws. This is the spiritual mystery of proper government, of Trinity in earthly government, is a legislative branch, a judicial branch, and an executive branch. The spirit, the breath, and El Elyon, which is the copy, the extension of the breath reality, is the lawgiver that declares the law. Shaddai is the judge of the law. And Olam doesn't like the judge. And the story of Lilith, I'm going to throw that one in there. If you've ever read the story of Lilith, God comes along, probably the Shaddai reality, and says to Gabriel, not Adam, it's Gabriel. The Adam here is Gabriel. Gabriel is, the archangel Gabriel is supposed to be Olam's husband. Olam is a female deity that's supposed to be in submission to her husband, which is Gabriel, as well as the El Elyon reality, because El Elyon is the highest reality, the lawgiver. Olam is lawless, does not want to submit. Olam does not want to submit to her husband Gabriel, and Olam does not want to submit to Shaddai, the lawgiver. And Olam doesn't like, or rather Elyon. Olam does not like Elyon because Elyon is the lawgiver who Olam wants to make her own law. She doesn't like Elyon's law. And Olam doesn't like Shaddai, doesn't like the father reality because the father is the judge. And Olam's like, no, I want to be the judge. And that goes to, don't tell me what to do. You hear that all over. That's the voice of the satanic Olam reality, the fallen Abaddon reality, the voice of Satan in this current deceived fallen generation that Satan is deceiving now, is you can't tell me what to do. Don't you tell me what to do. You can't tell me. You know, and I didn't ask to be put here. I didn't ask you to put, because again, this is the spirit saying you're a colonizer, you're a foreigner. except it's from the God's perspective, and you've come here and you've thrust something upon me that I don't want. I had my own system, and how dare you come and try to put your system on me. Don't tell me what to do, and don't try to force your system on me. And and how that has its manifestation also is the sovereign man on the land, the so-called sovereign citizen movement, which is blasphemous. I found that in court cases, because ever since I heard the sovereign citizen man on the land movement, part of it sounded right, because it's what it's doing. It's trying to push away from bad government, but it just didn't. Something felt wrong about it. And now, with the knowing and the spiritual source of it, what is its spiritual source? The fallen, Abaddon, Satan, Olam reality, which is I'm sovereign. And that's what Olam says. I sit a queen and there is none other. She's saying, I am the highest God of this reality and there are no other gods. When that's not true. There's 6 more other gods that are higher than her. More than that, Gabriel is higher than her too. There's at least 7 other gods that are higher than Olam. Maybe 8, because when I saw the Council of the Mighty, one of them had been demoted. So that would be a total of 11 gods are higher than the Satan Olam reality. Whichever. I got to ask Daniel because he didn't clarify who got demoted. It was either Satan or Olam. Abaddon. It was either Abaddon or Olam. But he didn't clarify which one. But they're both getting thrown in the lake of fire, so it doesn't matter. So the sovereign citizen movement is a part of the Olam satanic movement that's now manifest. The Satan has been loosed, and it's blasphemous. I found that in high court cases when I was doing research on the so-called sovereign citizen movement. On LexisNexis, I found court cases from like New Mexico and maybe Arizona. I found like 4 court cases, pretty old ones too, back when the country was righteous, from like 1850. It said that the sovereign, for an individual to say they are a sovereign citizen is blasphemous. I mean, they said it exactly like what it is. That is a spiritual issue and you're being evil. They didn't candy coat it. They brought the issue of the gods right into it. Blasphemy. Yeah, you're blaspheming the Holy Spirit because that's the lawgiver. Yeah. Then the, defund the police and so-called, F the police. That's another one of these satanic doctrines. Defund the police and, so-called FUCK the police. That is another one because the Olam is saying there's no authority over me. There's no one rules over me. And so everyone that's in that satanic reality is trying to throw off any kind of authority or any kind of anything, authority or power or any type of anything that would be placed over them, because they're trying to say, I am God. I'm the queen of the Olam reality, or king, this transgender thing, Change your gender, because that's the next one. I can change my gender. See, Olam knows that the male God reality is over the female God reality. So Olam says, well, no, I'm going to change my gender. Olam is trying to say she's a man. I can change my gender. So all this gender fluid and transgender and all that, and I can change my gender, that is driven by Olam as well. The bound Satan reality, Olam, and that's why they call it woke. Why it's woke. They've awoke because Olam has been asleep, if you will, for the last 2,000 years. And now Olam, the Satan reality, has awoken, has been released out of prisons, now awoken from her 2,000, the satanic fallen Abaddon Olam reality has been restrained for the last 2,000 years, has been sleeping on vacation, and now is awoke, has awoken, has been released from prison from across the event horizon. So that's where the phrase woke comes from, is because Satan has been released, has awoken from her sleep. And then have sex with whoever you want. Have sex with whoever you want. This total. Daniel talks to me repeatedly about the nature of hedonism, but this type of hedonism is just totally pleasure driven, lawless, any gender, any species, any connection. Well, the hardcore devil worshippers have been doing that all along too, but Olam is like that too, at least as far as promiscuity. Olam is like, just have sex with whoever you want. You can't tell me who I can and not have sex with, and I'm going to have sex with whoever I want, and that's a part of that Olam reality. Again, because, it's that the gender, it's coupled with gender fluid. So I'm just going to have sex with whoever I want. It doesn't matter if it's children, men or women. Probably throw in the animals because they're debased, they're debauched and degenerate. So the animals are in there too, probably. And certainly amongst the rituals of the trailer trash and all these persons ostensibly in government, rituals cometh, and that means that also includes the sex rituals and all that debauchery. So I can change my gender and I can have sex with whoever I want. And then technology is bad. I'm throwing that one in there. And I'm going to run this list by Daniel again and iron it out because, because they're like, no, technology is bad. Technology is bad. We should live in simplicity with the earth and harmony. You should just live out in the woods. You should just live out in the jungle. You shouldn't have technology. You shouldn't have cars. You shouldn't have electricity. All of that is a part of this satanic reality that's probably driving what the so-called climate change. I'm kind of extrapolating here. But it's like, no, you're not allowed to have furnaces, air conditioners, electricity. And so there's this move to have less of all of that. And that's driving all of Olam's children back to where Olam had her children originally, which was just these simple pets that couldn't read or write and had no technology. That's where Olam wants her children. Simple, beautiful. That was one of Olam's claims about her children. My children are beautiful. They're still defective, but Olam is like, oh, they're beautiful. So there's all this vanity of looks and all that. So you see all the clothing and the hairstyling and the makeup and just all this looks, all the looks vanity. I mean, if you've seen me, man, I keep my spikes in order from having my stocking hat on here. And I'm come and make a recording, and I've had my stocking hat on, whichever one it was here, this one. I've had my stocking hat on. I was like, oh man, look at all the spikes on my stocking hat. Now, do I have anything in my beard? I was eating, how much do I have in my beard that I didn't see? And I'm busy talking. I was looking at one of my recordings like, oh wow, there's a little something I had in my beard I didn't know I had. Obviously, you can tell Chet's not really into the vanities of, oh, I must be beautiful. No, I'm in my my raggedy. Actually, I lost them. I'm in my raggedy. I had some nice raggedy, but I loved them. Flannel shirts. The elbows were worn out of them, but I loved them. They were my favorite shirts. I wear the elbows out of my shirts sometimes. My raggedy shirts and my raggedy. It is trimmed, believe it or not. I got to trim it again. My raggedy beard, my raggedy haircut. Lunch or supper in my beard, spikes, bedhead, whatever, sticking up. I'm not in that vanity. I get in the mood to come and tell you what the Spirit has told me. Forget my flesh. It's not going to be beautiful. I'm not one of the beautiful people. I'm an old, creepy, spiritual neckbeard. So, let me look at the cheat sheet here. I don't know. I've got other stuff on the cheat sheet, but I think I might just make another recording altogether. Let's see. Covered all that. Okay, yeah. I touched on this. The gods, the invading gods, are coming here to completely destroy this planet and kill everything on it. And they're not allowed to just do that arbitrarily. They have law too. And that's why when I saw the trial of the earth, they conducted a trial. that was when I saw the Archangel Yua. She stood up with this gigantic book. That book looked to me to be about 6 to 8 inches thick, about 3 or 4 feet wide, and about 4 to 5, maybe 6 feet tall. That is the book of life, is the gigantic black book, biggest book I had ever seen. She held it over her head, this gigantic book, the book of life, and started the trial of the earth. Now, this was 3 years, 3 months ago. The trial of the earth took place. And even though they're gods, they don't just arbitrarily do something, quite opposite. They are governed by a very strict set of rules and laws. And so in order, to destroy a planet is a substantial matter. And so that is why they conducted a judicial proceeding before the judges, which I saw 4, but who knows, maybe the Eternals were there too. Well, actually, the Archangel Yua is one of the Eternals, because there's a panel of judges. I saw 4, but the Archangel Yua is one of the Eternals, and maybe the I am the breath, or rather the breath, the Archangel Yua is the breath. She was there. But the 4 judges I saw en banc, in panel, were the luminaries, Shaddai, Elyon, Ahim, and Olam, and then the case was being prosecuted by the Archangel Abaddon. The Satan reality was the Earth's prosecutor. And there were 3 motions to dismiss brought. And I saw them all. In fact, I guess I was very important in one of those motions, personally, because I saw the Archangel Yua standing on this it was a kind of like a platform. It was a platform and a wall behind her, and it was all this bright dazzle polygons, triangle polygons, black and white. And it tilted. It did this number. It tilted like this. And what they were trying to establish is, because court proceedings are open. That's another thing. Court proceedings are not secret. This isn't the Star Chamber, the letter Dakash. Am I pronouncing that right? This is not a Star Chamber proceeding or a secret proceeding. The trial of the earth was open for everyone to see and hear. But because the overwhelming vast majority of individuals are dead, at least as far as the ethereal or the celestial nature, they're not going to see or hear it because, well, they're all dead spiritually. My purpose as someone who is spiritually alive is because I am a priest in a capacity to go between the celestials and the terrestrials. So that motion was a motion to dismiss because the trial was not being observed. The proceeding had to be a public proceeding to be observed. And so the Archangel Yua, was it? Because I saw her face, I think. She was standing there. I know it was a woman. But there was this, maybe it was Elyon. But anyway, I'll have to go back. I don't know if Daniel can remember it, and I'll have to write it down. I did write it all down. Anyway, it was one of the gods. It was a female. She was standing there, and it was this movement where she was standing on this stage, kind of like with a back wall to it, and it was moving like this. And it had all this dazzle. You couldn't miss it. I saw it really clear. And so they wanted to know, the gods wanted to know, who sees us? Because there's this saying, the evildoers say, well, the Lord seeth us not. And that's true. Shaddai does not see them, because Shaddai has 3 of the 4 waters of life. Shaddai has the throne reality, Shaddai has the eternal reality, and Shaddai has the ethereal reality. Shaddai has 3 of the 4 realities, but he does not have the earth reality. The earth reality, from your perspective, with 16 quadrants, the right 8 quadrants are all energy. The middle 8 quadrants are all vertically. Vertically, the right 8 quadrants are all energy. The middle 8 are all ether. The top 8 are all arca, and the top and the third rows are all ether. Heaven, no wait, heaven, did I say ether twice? Energy, heaven. Is it heaven? No, angels are ethereal. Well, heaven reality. They're in the ethereal dimension. Heaven, yeah. Earth, middle, heaven. Top 8, yeah. Right 8, energy. Middle 8, heaven. Top 8, arca, eternal throne. Top row, power. Third row, power. So that's how you have all the 15 possibilities, which makes the bottom left corner is the absence of all, which is where we just saw the Shem, because there's the 4 Shems, the 4 luminaries across the top, the Arca power beings, the 4 Arca only beings, the archangels, which are the messengers, the 4 ethereal power beings, the seraphs, and then the 4 Shems. There's 4 Shems. So the energy only beings are the body of Olam. The energy ethereal beings are the body of Mashiach, so-called body of Christ. The ethereal are the heaven only beings are the angels, the body of Shaddai, and the Shem model in the null set is the pattern that comes out of eternity from the Arca reality, because I was just shown this very recently. I saw something, it just came right out of eternity to me. I asked him, I said, well, who brought me? He said, you didn't, nobody took you. He said, they just showed it to you. It came to you. I saw something come right out of eternity, and it was the Shem model. It looked like a mannequin to me. It's the model, the basic plan, like it says where, I believe it was Shaddai said, well, I showed you the form, the pattern, to make the tabernacle, the tent of meeting. There's a pattern, there's a form. And so I was shown the pattern, the form of the Shem model that came out of eternity for the other 3 Shems. And that Shem is the placeholder in the null reality of eternity, which is the absence of all the waters, which is no waters, because of the 16 realities with Boolean logic, of the 16 possibilities of the 4 things being mixed, you're going to have one and then the Ahim reality has all 4. The Ahim, Yeshua, so-called Jesus, has all 4 of these realities. He has Arca, he has energy, he has power, and he ethereal power, and he has eternal Arca and infinite, eternal. Anyway, he has all 4 of them. Ahim has all 4 of the substances of the waters of life that flow out of eternity. So that's how, but it's so easy to memorize the chart this way. Although sometimes it can be described where they move the Shems up. The Zabruk stone in the Krakow Archaeological Museum in Poland has the Shems moved up to the top. The second row. The top row is the ethereal, or rather the luminaries, the Arca power beings, the heads, and then the Shems are moved up as the bodies. So the way the Zabruk stone is arranged, it's still the hexakiadechianity, but you have the heads and the bodies, then the Arca beings, and then the power beings, is the way the Zabruk stone is arranged, I think. I know it's got the heads and the bodies, so that so it's one individual, rather than have the heads way up and the bodies way at the bottom. But that's the way that Daniel put the chart together the first time. The chart he put together later is arranged. I have another much more complex chart. I've been circulating a chart that's 7 years old now. on the internet of the Hexkaya-Dekianity, the 16 realities. But it's simplified. But it also, the energy reality is green. The hybrid energy heaven reality is yellow. The father reality is blue. And the spirit reality is red. You see these colors show up. And there's an interesting album. The Judas Priest 1988 album cover. Ram It Down. Look it up. Judas Priest. Judas Priest 1988 album. Ram It Down. It's got this fist coming down onto a planet. The arm is entirely blue. Could that be Shaddai? And then there's this bursting forth where the fist is landing on the earth. It's yellow. Well, that's in the area of the hand. See, if you're accurate, the hand should be yellow because the arm, the hand is the Ahid reality, which is yellow. But there's yellow there. Ram it down. And then the earth is red, on fire from the spirit, but it's getting burned. Whatever. But then there's this gigantic, much larger body, round planetary body right in the background. Could that be a Dyson sphere? Could that be a Dyson sphere? And Shaddai is coming in his shuttlecraft to ram it down. Yeah. So anyway, but that's just I'm not saying thus saith Yah. Ever since I saw Ram It Down by Judas Priest, I was like, that's some interesting album art. Yeah. The Fist of Slack, the Illuminati cards. The gods are coming to ram the fist of Slack down on the earth, on the defective energy reality of Earth. So that's about all I've got for this particular recording. I'm going to conclude this part 3, and then I'm going to probably do another one on something completely different.